Hello, my name is Reiko Osoroshi. On this channel, I narrate Japanese ghost stories. Today, I will narrate ghost story, method of making cursed objects. Method of making cursed items. Do you all know about cursed objects? Some well-known examples would be straw dolls and such. You might put a part of the target's body you want to curse into a doll made of straw. Then drive a 5-inch nail into it and attach it to a wooden object to curse them. Additionally, there are various cursed objects created to prevent the prosperity of enemies' work or to bring down the lives of lovers who betrayed you. I won't delve into many details here. What these cursed objects have in common is that they are always made using a part of a living being's body or life as a material. By doing so, it's said that you can infuse them with grudges and curse the target. However, is this really true? The story I'm about to tell is my experience of being cursed for the first time, and gaining a new perspective on how cursed objects are made. Over a decade ago, I was just an ordinary middle school boy. I attended boring classes every day, played basketball in the club, went to karaoke with friends on weekends, and occasionally hung out with groups of girls, making my heart race. I was just your typical middle school boy. Among the friends I always hung out with, there was A. Full of humor, always laughing, being with A was fun and carefree, and we did everything together. I was in the after-school club, and although I didn't know much about their private life, it was no big deal. One day, as usual, we were talking in the classroom. A often chewed gum. Maybe they thought it looked cool. While we were chatting, A pointed their finger and said, "I'm gonna flick this gum at that guy. If it sticks to his cowlick, you owe me a juice." The person A was pointing at was B. B was somewhat of an outsider in the class, always reading books during break times. They had long hair, wore glasses for nearsightedness, and let's just say there was not much cleanliness to them. Despite that, B didn't have great grades. I happened to catch a glimpse of their test scores once, and they were pretty bad. Luckily, the class atmosphere was good, so there was no bullying or anything. I told A, "Come on, cut it out," but before I could finish, the gum that I had chewed, now dripping with saliva, formed an arc in the air and stuck to B's hair. A laughed and said, "Did it stick to the cowlick?" Later, I sighed, and then a shock ran through me. I looked ahead and saw B glaring at me with an angry expression. Apparently, they had been hit. B charged toward me, and I quickly raised my guard, saying, "It's a misunderstanding, stop it." Other students intervened and the day ended without any further issues. By the way, A looked awkward, holding their hands together, seemingly apologizing, with a remorseful expression on their face. However, strange things began to happen the following day. That night, as I slept, I experienced sleep paralysis. I felt someone choking my neck. I could faintly see the silhouette of a man. Then I woke up. I looked at my neck in the mirror and saw a handprint. Did I do something? I wondered. Despite being scared, I hid my neck with my school uniform collar and went to school as if nothing had happened. However, the same thing happened the next night and the night after that, sleep paralysis and someone choking my neck. As a result, I suffered from sleep deprivation, my face turned pale, and my eyes became vacant. Not only that, the area with the handprint on my neck developed a rash and started oozing pus. Without any composure left, when I expressed concern with, "Are you okay?" I snapped back with, "Just leave me alone." Even A, who used to worry about me, received a harsh response. Gradually, people started distancing themselves from me. Why is this happening? I thought as I held my head. I don't know why I reached this conclusion at the time, but I was probably not in my right mind. Come to think of it, I was punched by B that day. That guy cursed me. Anger began to well up within me, and I grabbed B. "You bastard." I mustered all my strength and lunged at B, but I was easily pulled away by the surrounding students, and I lost consciousness. The last thing I saw was B's surprised expression with widened eyes. From that day on, I stayed bedridden. My neck was constantly itchy. Even in my sleep, I experienced sleep paralysis and the sensation of someone choking my neck. My mind was shattered, and tears streamed down my cheeks. My parents were by my side the whole time, taking care of me, which made me feel embarrassed and sorry. One day, my mother said, "A friend came to visit you." I thought that they had come to check on me. With that in mind, I looked at the door to my room and couldn't believe my eyes. Standing there was B. What more did they want to put me through? It was A who started this in the first place. Why did this misunderstanding lead to such a situation? Various emotions swirled within me. I clenched my lips and held back tears with all my might. B spoke, "Hey, where are your school uniform pants?" My mind went blank. More accurately, I couldn't quite comprehend what I was being asked, and words failed me. "Well, forget it." B said that and took off their glasses. They closed their eyes and started walking. Without saying a word, they opened the sliding door while keeping their eyes closed and rummaged through the storage. I was probably in a state of confusion, or rather, I felt like I was dreaming because I couldn't make sense of the scene before me. Found it. B said that and took out my wrinkled school uniform pants, then retrieved something dark from them. B wrapped it in multiple layers of paper, similar to banknotes, and put it in their bag. Can you walk? B asked, then started dragging me along. My consciousness was hazy, so I don't remember much, but when I came to, I was sleeping in the center of a large Japanese-style room. I had been dressed in white garments without my knowledge, and next to me were B, who appeared to be dressed as a Shinto priest, and what seemed to be B's mother. In front of me was a solemn oak stand, covered with washi paper and filled with ashes. Among the ashes were fragments of a talisman. I assumed that they had burned that black lump. How are you feeling? It might not be pleasant, but you'll get better. B has a part of the responsibility for this incident as well. Normally, they don't do much other than work. It was B's mother or someone like her who began to speak. When I heard the explanation, it went something like this. B's family had been a lineage of spiritual practitioners for generations, a renowned noble family at times, even consulted by the government. Naturally, B was also a part of this lineage and possessed spiritual abilities. However, they refused to live their life as a spiritual practitioner, so their powers weren't particularly strong. They could see and sense things and perform simple exorcisms at best. And the story went back to the day B attacked me. B, with their spiritual abilities, described how they felt. While reading a book, they suddenly felt something incredibly evil stick to their hair. Looking at it, it was gum, but when they examined the curse connection, they felt a link between me, A, and the gum, but the link with me was especially strong. They decided to return the curse while hitting me and returned the gum to my school uniform. Or so they said. Gum is the cause? I was taken aback and couldn't believe it. Then, B's mother continued the story. Apparently, in this case, the gum had become a cursed object. Typically, cursed objects like straw dolls involve inserting a part of a human body, but it's not an essential condition. The reason for using a part of the body or life force is that negative emotions are more likely to be amplified that way. Normally, emotions wouldn't get so intense that they would be sublimated into a curse without using such methods. However, this time, the gum absorbed an enormous amount of jealousy, particularly from A. A's emotions mingled with the gum, and the overwhelming jealousy transformed into a curse. I couldn't believe it. We always laughed together, acted foolishly together. A was my normal junior high school buddy. There was no reason for them to feel jealous. B's mother used their spiritual abilities to understand, but it turned out that A's circumstances were the cause. A's father was abusive, and their mother managed to escape with and took refuge at her parents' home, but A's mother disappeared with another man. The only one who raised A was their grandmother, but she fell ill and arranged her funeral on their own. Because they had to handle everything by themselves, they couldn't participate in club activities. Amidst this, I, who had been friends with A since childhood, was there. A's saving grace was also natural to them, and there was no resentment. But when you're close to someone, you can notice things. I was someone who had a similar character, was average in grades and appearance, and being together was comfortable. That's the kind of reality they resented, that they were enjoying something so normal and taken for granted. Gradually, that resentment turned into jealousy. To suppress those feelings, A would often chew gum to distract themselves. Then, one day, their emotions were about to explode, and they intended to take out their frustrations on me. That was when the gum turned into a cursed object, or so they claimed. I felt a deep sadness. I had been right there, and yet I failed to notice their feelings and circumstances. I was so powerless, and I needed to support them the next time we met. First, I needed to show them that I was doing okay. That's what I thought. Just as I was thinking that, B's mother had a sorrowful expression and began to speak. By the way, curses never disappear. Regardless of what kind of power is used, curses do not vanish. There's only one condition for lifting a curse, and that is the target of the curse ceasing to exist due to the curse itself. That's the only way. At that moment, my face froze. Was I still cursed? And not just any curse, but an accidental creation, a curse that nobody wanted. Tears welled up in my eyes as I spoke, so, I have no choice but to disappear. However, B's mother shook her head. No, the curse has already left you. There's a saying that goes, if you curse someone, you dig your own grave. The only way to handle a curse is to return it to the person who initiated it. There's no other way to deal with. On that day, I cried my heart out. My chest felt incredibly heavy. Why did such an absurdity have to happen? While my parents were overjoyed to see me recovering, I couldn't genuinely share their happiness. The next day, I returned to school as usual. B was also there, and our eyes met, but we didn't say anything to each other. During the morning homeroom, the teacher announced, A-kun has transferred due to family circumstances. A, who shouldn't have any family to transfer to, was now transferring because of family circumstances. What in the world was going on? After that, I never saw again. How was it? What do you think happened to afterward? Please share your predictions in the comments section. Also, many of you might have experienced negative emotions at some point. However, do those emotions perhaps swell more than you realize? If left unchecked, they might. Before that happens, take this comment section as an opportunity to vent and feel relieved. If you have any other stories you would like me to introduce or any questions about the stories, please leave a comment. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and stay tuned for the next episode.